It's never too late to radio. All right, that's a pretty good channel name. It's hard to see me. I know it's because I've got the sun shining in my face. I need the hat or I'm not going to be able to see the screen at all. And I don't even know if you're still there. It's never too late to radio, but it looks like you might be a channel supporter, and that's pretty cool. Thank you for that. This live stream is sort of I feel a responsibility to the channel. I feel a responsibility to the crew. And I know sometimes I have these periods where I'm not really posting a lot. I feel like I've said everything that I've said lately. Hey, Rocklick Ranch, 5 out of 5. Thank you. And JC Fixer. Like, I'm in my garden. I've done several garden videos in the past. I don't know if everybody wants to see like another garden video every summer. Greek Homestead, shalom. There you are, said Lone Star Living, and he's a moderator, so that's nice. So if anybody shows up who's a stinker, I got someone who has my back. And there's Aid, he's also a mod. G'day. Well, that's not you. It's Australia, but and there's Nancy C. Shalom. Nancy C is a hard-working woman of faith. She told me recently canned like 50 jars of cherry jam. Come on now, that's pretty impressive. Lone Star Living Gardening is great. Chris Bulldog, shalom, good morning, and good morning, C103. Oh, JC Fixer, thanks. I know I love gardening videos. Good morning, SK, says Tim Pack. And Shelly W, thank you for supporting the channel, Shelly. Appreciate it. There's Sabbath Lounge, shalom from Texas. So I need to have a conversation with Sabbath Lounge. I know you got the little onions that I sent, and thank you for sending me your book. I have not had time to read it yet. I know I should, and I will get to it soon. And then you and I need to do a joint live. I think that'd be great so that you can talk about your book like you allowed me to talk about my book on your channel. So I know that's out there floating, and I do have an intent to do that. It's just right now in the pattern, hey, terra firma, shalom, of waiting for my health stuff to finally settle down. And there's Lambkeeper Journeys. Good morning. I'm still kind of in a holding pattern on a lot of things until I can finally get this matter settled. It's been, 5 months now since initially just having an episode of pain, esophageal, whatever, and then going through all these tests, tons of tests. I just had a test recently. If you ever have to do it, it's kind of crazy. They had me drink a drink. It had barium in it, which, again, you know me, I'm not real keen on that stuff, but barium is a very low dose radiation thing, and you only drink a small amount, and then supposedly you flush it from your system. And it gives them really good pictures of whatever they're trying to look at, which in this particular test was... they were trying to see if my esophagus was acting normally, because part of the problem that I'm having is they thought I had a hernia at the base of my esophagus, and that messes with the lower sphincter of your esophagus, where food comes in at the top and then goes to the bottom, and that sphincter allows food to go in but closes after the food passes through so that your stomach acid doesn't come back up. And they were thinking something was wrong with me, so they this last test, super detailed. Like, they had a screen and I looked on it and I'm like, wow, okay, so I see why they wanted me to do it. Like, it would be, what would it be like in non-medical terms? Like looking through a microscope, and you get to see, if you've ever looked through a microscope at like, pond water or something, you see so much detail of all the little creatures down in there. Well, this thing was showing super detail of my esophagus. And so they're talking me through it. But what they did, the craziest part is once it's in there, like fast, they move you around. They like tip you upside down and they twirl you around. They have you at a quarter angle to, the table they put you on, then at a half angle, and then a 3/4, and they're like, turn this way, turn that way. We're going to turn you upside down. We're going to put your feet up in the air. And they take pictures of that fluid going all the way down your esophagus, and they can see it as it moves. And I was super impressed with that technology. I was like, wow. Travis Bolt, Shaloha, Palmetto Paratrooper. PP, you're in here? Shalom. Thank you for the prayers. You look the part. Ants. Whatever, man. Anyway, the doctor told me I don't see any sign of a hernia there at all. And your esophagus looks like it's working normally. And I was like, whoa. But he did show me on the screen like a diverticulum, which is a pushed out part of my stomach wall that also has some kind of infection. Like diverticulitis is pockets in your colon that have some infection in them, and it causes you a lot of irritable bowel situations, and like you don't digest properly when you have diverticulitis in your colon. And I'm digesting pretty normally. Like I eat my food and my food evacuates, and nothing crazy there. And so anyway, another test. We're doing another test to see if there's even any stomach acid actually up in my esophagus, because GERDs is what they've initially said I had. And I'm like, I don't have any of the symptoms. I have like one symptom of stomach acid coming back up, like acid reflux. I only have one symptom. They're like, do you wake up at night vomiting, possibly in your mouth and all this other stuff? I'm like, no, I don't have any of that. I don't have nausea. I don't have vomiting regularly. So some prayers we think are already answered in that way, because then I wouldn't need that weird operation where they wrap part of your stomach around your esophagus, and it's a one-way valve and you can never burp or vomit again. Like, it's just a whole thing. Almost got sick to my stomach. Hang on, what? The Lamb Keeper Journey. Did you get to watch it live? Yep. I once had a catheter ran through my heart into my lung. I got to watch it. I almost got sick to my stomach. Yeah, I got to glance over at it, but they were moving me around so much I didn't get to watch the whole thing. But he definitely showed me the conclusive thing. And like, praise Yah, praise the Father. PJ's been praying for me. My lunch is up. Love y'all. Shalom. I'm out. Well, thanks for stopping by, Travis. And there's Northwest Arkansas Prepper. Good morning. Hey, man, why were you in a hospital bed recently? I tried to get that on the Instagram, and I don't know that you answered. Prayer, blessing, and glory as we are in the second Passover, Yah's second chance gift to us, all in remembrance of Yeshua Messiah. Hallelujah. Anyway, that would just be like so many answered prayers if the case is the diverticulum and not the hernia, because the diverticulum doesn't really require any real treatment. So that would be a praise Yah. And I'm sorry to go over all that because it's probably boring the snot out of you all. Fight for your life. Stray Kitten, why didn't live stream it? It wasn't up to me. It wasn't up to me to put that on live stream. I wasn't about to try to set up a tripod and ask the doc, hey, do you mind if I, for my YouTube channel, we do this? I'm almost certain they'd say no. I'm almost certain they'd be like, no, this is, HIPAA, private. It's between you and me. Anyway, fight for your life is a concept that came to me this gardening season. Speaking of gardening, have they tested you for allergies? My BIL was severe stomach pain. Come to find out, it's allergic to brother-in-law. Sesame was having pain every time I eat sesame seed buns. The body is cool but weird. I don't think I'm showing any allergic symptoms. Praise Yah. Absolutely. Yeah, fight for your life came to me this gardening season. We've had so much rain. As you can see around me, there are like, it's a jungle out here. Like, every plant is super happy and every plant is growing bigger than I've seen a lot of them. The wild lettuce plants, which the way I expected them to be would be about a foot off the ground, are like 3 feet tall. It's ridiculous. And then, I don't know if you can see that bed behind me. I guess I can tip this a little bit. I planted like peas in there, and I kept it pretty much covered, as is my way to do gardening. And it is outrageous how fast the weeds and grasses are growing up in there. Not only that, I had lettuce in there, and there's a little bit of lettuce coming back. I don't know if they were what is called inchworms, but we had these green caterpillar things that came and pretty much ate all my lettuce down to the ground. And so when I finally figured out what it was and it got rid of the bugs, some of it's coming back. But the grass and the little weeds, and I got all these weeds that I don't know the name of, but I know they're local, and they just took over that bed. And so I went out there with a hoe and I chopped all of them, like separate them from the dirt, pull the root up with this hoe, and don't you know, a week later they're all back. Like, it's ridiculous. And then the wasn't showing typical. The stomach pain was the allergy symptom. I've already had whatever they call it, where they stick a tube down into your stomach, and she did not see any signs of that. But this next thing is a different doctor doing the same procedure on me, because she's the specialist and she wants to actually see what is going on in there. Our cold crops finally took off and getting close to harvesting. Yay, what are they? Colorado's still doing the warm days and cold frosty night thing. So that'd be perfect for like cabbage and peas and things like that. Weeds stink. Something happened to my strawberry beds in Northwest Arkansas proper. So you're not going to answer the why you're in a hospital bed question, brother? I'll tell you probably what happened. Like, my strawberry bed was wiped out by a fungus. And also strawberries are the adult plant only lasts about 4 years. So you want to have the baby plants come out so they can take over. But I've heard it's good to like replenish your strawberry bed, or like, fertilize it or something. Anyway, the plants are something we are fighting every day. Like, I don't think people realize how tenacious these things are. But if you look at like Detroit right now, if you actually go to a video or a photo from Detroit, where the auto industry factories and the steelworking factories were, once they vacated them, the forest started taking over, and there are concrete buildings, 3 stories tall, that have trees growing up through the middle of the building and also on the roof, right? What do you do for slugs? I've heard marigolds work to get rid of them. I have no idea if marigolds work. I know for slugs, if you put a bowl of beer, shallow bowl of beer, they'll drown themselves in it. If you put salt down where their trails are and they go through it, it will kill them. And if you put ducks in your garden, ducks supposedly eat slugs. Transplanting my strawberry plants to pots after they fruit to propagate the new daughter plants. There you are, Northwest Arkansas prepper. There you go. Also, strawberries like to be in pots and containers. That, I don't know why. You can have a bed. Lots of people do beds, but mine are doing the best I've seen them do when I put them in the block squares in my greenhouse. They are very happy there. I've already had some strawberries ripe. And the other thing about plants taking over, well, I want you all to tell me what you think about that, because there's even more historical evidence of plants just being like the custodian of the planet, right? They come and they completely redo whatever people left, and it becomes a forest. It becomes a jungle. Wait, I have a wrench? Thank you. Yeah, you had a wrench. So last live stream, if you remember, there was a little squirrely somebody in there making comments, and none of my regular moderators were in there. there were people like you and Westhold Forge and you know, other subscribers and crew members in there, but none of them had the wrench. And I think Palmetto Paratrooper was in there too, but I don't know if he stayed. And I was freaking out, and I wanted to make more people moderators, but I can't do it in live time. If I go to the live video after I'm done, and this has got to be so weird, you can't really see my face. You know it's me though, you know it's my voice. If I go in the video after that and I make you a moderator, then you're a moderator the next live. So yeah, you have a wrench, and so does Westhold. I've not done very well in the garden this year. I did plant some artichokes, and they are growing like crazy, right? This is a growing season, at least in our area, and you have to take advantage of it like Nancy C did. You definitely want to harvest those things when they're ripe. If you don't beat back nature all the time, it will take over. Right? I mean, can anybody think of any other circumstance where the proof is in the pudding on that thought? There is Shannon West. Shalom. Welcome to the live stream, Shannon. Anybody think of anything? It's peach tea, by the way. With the meds I'm taking for this stomach stuff, I can't, and my regular one med I can't really eat until like noon. I have to have non-calorie like liquids. So it's herbal tea and water until like noon, and it makes me a little cranky. Makes me a little anxious because I'd much rather be chewing on some breakfast food. They planted some more green beans today. Awesome. I planted green beans in another bed over there, and I have had very poor luck with green beans over time because some bug decides they really like them and they just eat it. I'm here. You were just in my pocket while I work a burn pile. Well, you remember the last live stream, Palmetto? I was trying to get you to wrench somebody out of there, but I think you'd already left. We have issues with poison ivy growing in places where the soil has been disturbed. This talk about plants taking over gives me The Happening vibes. That's the movie I was thinking of, right? M. Night Shyamalan does The Happening. And when I watched the video, I was like on it, but I was thinking, nah, plants would never do that. They don't have to do the happening thing. If you don't beat them back, they are struggling. They have in them that growth thing where even like some of my pear trees down in the orchard get this rust, and I talk about it every year, and I talk about how it ruins the fruit and everything. And then my daughter said, well, if it's in the leaves, get all the leaves off the plant. And I was like, no way, it'll kill it. She's like, no, it won't. They'll grow new leaves. And she was right. Like if I cut, I did. I had an apple tree go dormant this spring, and I'm like, that looks dead. So I cut the main trunk of that baby apple tree off because another brother in the congregation did it with another plant, and it grew, it grows out of the root. And I'm like, I'm just going to try it. And by golly, that thing is getting leaves all over it. So like these plants have in their genetic makeup that if you don't pull the root out, but you cut the top off, they're going to grow more, right? And so like the happening was they're exuding a chemical to like kill people, because some plants do, like walnuts throw down in the holes of their seeds the whatever acid or whatever it is in the soil around the base of their tree, and all the grass and stuff dies there. Like they're using chemical warfare on other plants. But like think about Mayan civilizations. Think about Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Think about in the South American jungles, what they find the forest has reclaimed. Like whole civilizations lived and died, and without people to beat the jungle back, the jungle just takes over the buildings. I grow awesome rocks every year. Me too, Mark. I mean, C103. All right, let me go back. Reverend Reverend 20 piece, a little hangry. I feel you, SK. I'm ready for lunch too. Welcome to my live stream, Reverend 20 piece. Everybody say hi to Reverend 20 piece. He's an all right dude. What is the verse about subduing? I'm sure it's in Genesis. So poison ivy, I used to be allergic to poison ivy. And after I did my whole, I have a scientific mind, a theory, if I stop thinking I'm allergic to poison ivy, will I stop being allergic to it? And in a very non-controlled way, the answer would be yes. So what I do with poison ivy, the last time I grabbed it, which was not long ago, I did wear some gloves. I did put on long sleeves and long pants. No, I didn't put on long pants. It was too hot. I had shorts on. Now, the whole thing about it is the oil gets on your skin and then your brain tells the body to react to it. Like, we don't like that. I had some A&D oil left over. I don't even remember why I had that A&D oil. It's a diaper rash cream oil thing, right? It's very thick. And I was like, what if the oil doesn't get on your skin? I slathered that A&D oil over the parts of my body that, like my hands or whatever, my forearm, I can't remember, but definitely my shins and my knees were going to be exposed to that oil because I was going to get out there and rip this crap up and cut it up and with extreme prejudice. And so I slathered that all over my legs and stuff. And then after I had done with the poison ivy, whatever I was going to do, which is basically just cut it all down, tear it out, I showered and got all that A&D off me, and I didn't react to it at all. So that's one thing. The other thing is it's a vine, and it's growing its main vine under the ground, like about 2 inches under, and it's putting up those little shoots. So really, to kill it, the best thing to do if you don't want to touch it is wait till winter when it's cold and the plant has died back and it's not putting the oil out, and get out there and dig up the vine part and burn it or, compost it or whatever you're going to do with it. And it has a very hard time growing back. Like if you get the whole vine, then it won't grow back. Now, if you don't want to do that either, get you some goats. Goats will eat poison ivy. They will eat the leaves, and then you can go in later with a hoe or something and dig the root out of the ground and, kill it. So, there. Sorry, sometimes I work while you play on my phone in my pocket, and sometimes I work while you're playing on my desktop 100 yards from where the work is. It's okay, man. I just ended up making other people moderators, so we got more. We're spreading the joy around. I don't know the real name, but I was told it's called beggar's lice. There is so much of it. I have to walk through it every day and get covered in it, have to brush it off my clothes. See, the time to take care of those things is near winter's end, before they pop out in spring, and get into wherever these things are growing and get under the soil, because everything has a root system. And if you dig that up and you pull those roots out, you're killing that potential plant. Or get goats so they can eat the tops down and they can't grow back. Shalom all. Christy B. Squirrels on my garden menus got to my potatoes. Right? Squirrels are very destructive and they're very capable. That's why, we don't have squirrels that are coming into our garden like it is right now. That's one reason why you cut trees back from your garden. Also for the sunlight. If you have dogs or cats, some hunting cats will kill even squirrels. You can live trap them. You can bait it with whatever they seem to enjoy eating, and then you can rehome them, take them to some park or, something. But they are very, very strong, capable little creatures. There's so much of it this year. There was a whole series about what happens to life without people. You need a different name, new person. That is way too hard to pronounce. And there is the encouraging community. Shalom, homies. Howdy, Reverend. I heard if allergic if allergic, supposed to eat a tiny bit of poison ivy. That would just be the therapy they call, and I can't even remember the name right now, but to expose yourself to the thing that makes you allergic a little at a time, and eventually your body learns that it's okay, and you stop reacting to it. I just thought mentally, and I've told this story before. My husband, very allergic to cats. I brought home a tablecloth that was full of cat hair, and I put it near a washer dryer, which he would walk by every day, and so would I, and didn't tell him that that had cat hair all over it, and he never once reacted to it. So that's when I realized there might be a mental component to allergies. Rachel, White House. Okay, that idea sounds genius. I have to try it. I'm allergic, and I get it every year. Well, there you go. Rachel, give it a try. Didn't you read my book, Cough Cough, Jewelweed is the Antidote to Poison Ivy? Yes, I did, and you are right, and I'm glad you brought that up. There is a plant called jewelweed, and it looks kind of like, what does it look kind of like? Describe it, Lamp Keeper. It looks kind of like the Korean sesame that I'm always killing. It's got light green leaves, and they're kind of hairy. It looks, maybe it's like kind of like nettle. And it is, if you're having an allergic reaction or whatever, if you have the jewelweed and you rub it on the oil, it should negate the reaction. And I'm glad I like that you went, cough, cough, my book. Yes, Lamp Keeper's got a book. You can plug it here. I've got a book out. My book is Homesteader Hints. It's on Amazon. It's a short book about homesteading and giving you some information that will help you not have to do all the basic stuff from scratch. If you read the book, then you get lots of tips on how to do your homesteading a little bit easier. Make sure you wash the Dawn dish soap if you touch poison ivy. And Dawn dish soap is effective because it eats oils. So I agree with that. Alan Wade. It has orange flowers and grows among the poison ivy. Okay, good to know. Steve White, my full name is Stephen Roy William White. I guess in this new world we live in it. Racist. Not sure what you mean by that, Steve. You're welcome to explain that if you want. Poison ivy works differently than that. You'll actually react less the first few times you're exposed. Well, and that's a general statement about allergies and across the board. Supposedly with allergies, you have a small reaction first and then they get worse if you're truly allergic. But in my case, for whatever reason, my reactions were pretty strong and have gotten less over the years. To now, it's nothing. Shalom SK, my husband is very allergic to poison ivy and cashews. They're in the same family. Well, there you go. I'm not allergic to poison ivy. That's a good thing too. Lamp Keeper, your book was awesome, said Pharma. By the way, I love your channel. I learned more from you than any book I've ever gotten. Well, good. That's the whole point of the channel. I've gotten poison ivy and poison ivy so many times as a kid, I don't even react to it anymore, said Palmetto. So see, Palmetto and I are not your typical allergy people. I guess I'll just say that. Like with bee stings, people allergic to bee stings, sometimes it's life-threatening. It's not like that with me. I clear land barehanded and grab it all the time. I don't do it barehanded unless I don't have gloves. If I'm going to clear it and I know I'm going to clear it, I will take just sensible protective measures like the gloves and, like I said, the long sleeve shirt. But I didn't protect my lower legs at all. Homestead's Hints has been my go-to for planning my homesteading journey. Learned some things I didn't think about. Well, good. I'm glad it's useful. Bad internet today. See y'all later. All right, Westhold, take it easy. I've heard it is the same with stinging and nettle. The more you touch it, the less it bugs you. And you can neutralize the acid in the nettle by just boiling it. All my trees are down in the fenced area. I am also allergic to domestic animals. Cat dander is so bad. So Shannon, I used to be very allergic to cats when I was a kid. Very. Snot running down my face, sneezing, coughing, all of that. And again, after like I'd visit my mom and I'd go see my mom in Florida, and she had like cats in her house. Sometimes the hair would be all over her linens, like her towels and her sheets in the closet because the cats would sleep in there. And so first I started taking allergy meds like Zyrtec when I went. But then over the years, I started realizing if I ignore the cats, if I don't even think about the cats, I'm not reacting anymore. And so we have 2 cats now that live at the house. The one was actually in the house with us. That's another whole story. But she did something that I was just not going to put up with, and I put her outside. So I'm walking by her every day. As a matter of fact, she was out here. She's been in on some of my live streams, and I pet her occasionally, but I just don't think about her and my allergy. I don't think about it. I just like, okay, she's a cat, whatever. And I don't react to her at all. Winter night. Shalom. SK just saw the live and joined in. David, how are things in Italia? It's probably what? Not winter time, dinner time-ish there. Okay, a message held for review. Oh, no, I'm going to show that for sure. See, she even knew. I swear to God, they've got cat ESP. She knew we were talking about her. So Rocklet, I'm showing there. I'm showing your thing. Rocklet Ranch is a good guy. Okay, just handled it. Good. I'm highly allergic to corn and part Native American. What irony. That is funny. See, the cat knew I was talking about it. She just jumped on my lap. What is Lamb-Keeper's book? I enjoyed your book, Homestead Hens. Jen K, thanks for buying it. Lamb-Keeper, plug your book. Wow, it's Susan Boyle from America's Got Talent. I didn't know you did gardening streams, Susan. You're hilarious, dude. There's Grady Ratliff, shalom, and JS Badger, shalom. After years of picking the wild blackberries with a very small needle-like thorns, they stopped bothering me too. Me too. And something else I figured out, Palmetto, was the direction that the thorns are going in. And then I'm like, okay, so if I put my arm in and I try to pull it out in that direction, it's definitely going to catch me. So I try to figure out a way to get my arm out of the blackberries without going in the direction that the thorns are going to catch me. And I'm getting pretty good at it. Like my forearms aren't near as scratched up as they used to be. Jimmy James, shalom. Wait a minute. Nope. My eyes would swell shut. Now I'm good with shorter haired cats. Peter Santinello interviewed Titus, who talked about graduating, eating poison ivy to become immune. He did. I watched that. Titus was a very interesting character. And I don't really want to eat poison ivy. I guess I just, there's enough greens that I like that I don't really want to eat one I don't really care about. But there is another case of people getting used to it. I grew up with kitties, became allergic at 12 after a stupid Virginia whatever. Allergies can also develop later in life. You can also lose your allergic, and that may be what's happening with me also. I was so allergic I used to take shots for it. And I guess in the shots there were little bits of allergens that I was allergic to, and maybe that built me up against the cat thing. I'm not sure. Greek Homestead. I think that kids that grow up with animals... Come on. Rocklick Ranch is a regular subscriber, so if someone is like trying to hide his comments or something, please stop. He's a good guy. Okay. Rocklick Ranch, if you're still here, try to comment some more. There you go. Wow, look at all these. I think the kids that grow up with animals don't show any allergies, or also specific cat breeds that don't cause allergies. All that's true. I did grow up with animals and I still had them. So I think it might be a genetic predisposition as well. Hello, wildlife here, get the cats. Get the cats. Yeah, cats are Believe it or not, cats and dogs, domestic, are some of the first animals to be taken if you've got a big predator in your area. My cats have been fine. I think she's kind of smart about the predators in our area. And she spends a lot of time on the porch. I don't think I have any allergies. Haven't come across any yet. I pretty much lived my life outside. That's always a good thing. Was waiting for your permission. My book is Eyes of Grace, available on Amazon, but you can get a better deal on my website, thelampkeeper.com. I don't know what that is, Jimmy James. I made a video on jewelweed on my channel. There's your comment. Yay! When is your next book, Lamp Keeper? I have my blackberries on a cable and harvest from underneath them. That's a really good idea, too. Hey, Jensen Family Homestead. Hello, shalom. Okay, fighting for your life. Super clock. Farmer had a blood test that showed no allergies, but have several food sensitivities. I can't figure out how to approve his message from the phone app. So you have to like touch his name, or it shows up as his comment and show it or hide it. And it might have been an accident that it was hidden in the first place, because if I touched something wrong and yeah. But it's out there now. Narrower nose passages increase your chances of allergies. I think it's what happened to me. Maybe, Sam, I've never heard that before, and I don't know that mine are any narrower than anybody else. Food sensitivities suck. They do. And the way our food is processed anymore nowadays, and this is part of fighting for your life, is taking control of what you are taking in to your body. And why I have a garden. There are sprays and treatments for food to keep them from rotting as fast, and you can be allergic to that. I grew up with animals, but still allergic to cats, not allergic to dogs or horses. Yay. I was allergic to rabbits too, and I'm not responding to them right now. Farm going to be a few, have a children's book in the works, but I have so much stuff going on, it's hard to find time outside of my full-time job. Yes. Hey, am I prepper? Shalom. I'm rural in the mountains. Yep. This is another fight for your life topic. Excuse me. If you homestead and you decide you're going to go rural and you're going to be in the mountains, there's a whole thing going on here in these mountains because most people don't want to have a house out here. Excuse me, the tea. It's harder to build on a mountain. You have different wind, you have different weather on mountains. There is a whole deal with what lives in your area. If you live in our northwest part of our country, you could have mountain lions, you could have black bears. There are definitely bobcats and coyotes in rural areas. They're even in Central Park, the coy wolves and the coyotes. And they are very comfortable around people these days. You live in our southwest, they got the wild pig situation, and it's no joke. Wild pigs attacked and killed a woman in her driveway in a neighborhood. So there are real predators, and hold that thought. I want to get something out of that garden bed behind me. I'll be right back, y'all. Just hang on. Ugh. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is this. Let's see if I can. There we go. You see that leaf? That's from my pea plant. This struggle for life is real. Look at that. There's some bug eating my pea plant. Pea plants are full of nutrition, of nitrogen. And so these bugs know they're in there chomping on them. That's part of the struggle. But also I wanted to show you that. Peas grow fast. Peas grow in cold. I planted these in February and it's now mid-May and I'm eating mature peas. Let's show you that little guy right there. I know exactly how much chemicals were on this plant. None. All I have to do is plant the pea, wait for the sun and the rain to do their job. It's so fresh and so sweet and so good that it's worth it to me. And this is part of my struggle. I like gardens. I like fresh food. I like to not have to drive somewhere and pay money to get this same object. And sometimes, like in winter, I do. I go buy groceries. But in the summer, when the sun and the rain are going to do most of your work for you, I prefer to just be able to walk out in my garden and eat some food. And if this isn't making y'all hungry, because like I said, I can't eat till, like noon. If this is not making you hungry, you're eating too much. Because this stuff is so good. Even the pod is tasty and crunchy. It's amazing. And so worth it. Doesn't it even sound good to you? All right. I'm going to move my chair just a little bit, and I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. I do it almost every live stream and on regular videos too. Like, I'm not a technical person, and so the details. Okay. Yes, it's me, Sister Kate. I'm here. Let's see your comments. Woo, Harrisberry Honeycut. Shalom. I'm going to go back up to Palmetto Pear. Who? Oh, okay. Oh, I love that comment. You have to slowly acclimate to becoming a rugged person, like dipping your toes in a hot bath. Warthog survival. C103, shalom. Yep, there you go. Yep. I think the blackberries that get the most shade get the most plump too. I do too. That is my experience, Palmetto. You guys hold on. I will go pick a blackberry that's ripe right now. Well, would you just look at that? Walking out on your own live stream, usually not recommended, but look at. These are the berries that were in a photo I posted a little while ago. They grow between rocks. Oh my God, the flavor's so good. The rocks heat them up, so they get ripe before any other blackberry on the property. Just the whole fruit, just the fruit, not the whole plant. My neighbors are bears, deer, mountain lions, etc. I have more problems with processed foods than anything else. My daughter has lots of allergies, polyester, tree nuts, cats, just to name a few. I might do an experiment with her. But as a child, my mom got me allergy shots. I took them about 2 years, and after that, my reactions were not as strong. But I might try an experiment and put something she's allergic to somewhere that she's going to pass by every day and see if she actually reacts to it. Don't let her know it's there. If she's not reacting to it, then there is a mental side to allergies, and you can work on that with her, because she could be afraid of it or not understand it, and that's why she's reacting to it also. And I'm not a doctor, so if you think my advice is stupid, then absolutely don't take it. Now, moderators, if people are making stupid comments but they're not offensive, just let them sit. Absolutely. Am I prepper? All right. All right, so I read that one. I have cockroaches the size of a mountain lion. You need to get yourself a lizard or a cat. We give people out here 2 years. If they make it that long, they usually stay. Farmer, you are not typical. I just want you to know that. Homesteading in Canada is not like homesteading in the Ozarks. Your temperatures are way colder and your growing season is probably shorter. And so if they last out there, they can last anywhere. PNW, that's right. So my point about if you're in the mountains and you're homesteading, there are some stuff you have to seriously think about is true. And that's why you see our gardens are enclosed and I have runs for my birds, because sometimes the danger is so real that if you don't lock your animals up, they're going to get taken. And when I say lock them up, I mean like securely. You can't, where we live, you have to have fence that comes out from your run fence that goes out like that and is covered with dirt. So when that bobcat tries to scratch its way under your fence, it can't. Cicadas are supposed to be everywhere this year. Everything to eat bug is going to get fat. Yep. Love fresh raw peas. Love it too. Butterflies got to my garden. Now I'm dealing with caterpillars eating all my cabbage and broccoli. That's exactly what happens here as well. And so 2 things that seem to have a small effect are DE, diatomaceous earth, and neem oil. But when I use neem oil and I sprayed it on my plants, I did it, I think, in the morning, and it burned the plants during the day. So apparently a technique with neem oil is apply it late at night. And so it sits there for several hours and it won't burn the plants. The thing that I found most effective, and it still doesn't stop, is to get out there and squish all those caterpillars by hand. Kill them all. Now, another way to do it, which I haven't done yet, but it would work, is simply put a bowl of water under the plant and smack the plant and get them to fall out in the water and they drowned. That is another way to do it. And you've got to stop the white cabbage moths from coming on your plants. So you can buy netting, like mosquito netting, that you can wrap around your plant, and that will keep those moths out. But it is really rough in our area on brassicas. So another technique a brother told me was plant a crop, and turnip greens is a really good crop for this, near where you want your broccoli and stuff. Plant a big patch of it, and those bugs will go to that first and hopefully leave your other crop alone. But what I did is I've got that greenhouse, and it has screening in areas so the cabbages can't get in, and it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And so they can't actually get to my cabbages and stuff. They are in that greenhouse. A third technique is to plant a lot of whatever you want, get it in there early, make sure the soil's good so it grows big quick, and then harvest it before they show up. Okay. Hey, Sister Kate, good to see you again live. Tell Pastor Joe we said hey from Southeast Texas. Much love and prayer. Y'all bless. Thank you. I'm fasting and a bit hungry. I'm sorry, Nancy, that was mean. I didn't know that. The pea vines and leaves are also tasty. There's Andrew Stanek. If they were snow peas, I would be all over that. Other peas are not my favorite. Nothing tastes better than food raised by your own hands, says Carl Sams. Yes, the huge cicadas are having a supper year. 2 different species are coming together. supposed to meet up in Illinois somewhere. And they just say, today is my fast day too. I'm struggling right now. Oh, and here I am munching and stuff. The point was to just show you garden stuff is good, not to tempt my sisters. I will pray for you guys to hold out. God bless you. I wish I was sitting along with you from Brooklyn, New York. Hey, you have your own prepper, Brooklyn, New York. You know that. His name's the Angry Prepper, and he preps in New York City. My other property has 2 varieties of blackberries, and one of them starts producing a month earlier, and the other finishes a month later, which is the way you want it to happen, so you are in blackberries. Both wild. Yeah, we have wild raspberries, we have those blackberries, and then the main ones that are smaller, that main meaning we have a lot of plants that are of that variety are like mid-June to July 4th is when they're ripe. I have 2 varieties of blackberries. I love blackberries, especially when y'all planted it and all I did was recognize its value and nurture it. That is my favorite also. Push through it. It's weird how the hunger comes and goes. Love fasting. I have food and fabric allergies. Excuse me, try wearing linen clothes. She has reacted to polyester since birth. I don't blame her, Jensen Family Home, so I don't really like it. Try linen. Can you develop a mental allergy to people? Absolutely. Predators are everywhere. Mice eat roaches and other beetles. I found mice nests with shelves of beetles all around it. Hey, there's an interesting tip. It is my dream to have a small homestead. Well, make your dream come true. Save some money. Go to United Country Realty website. They have rural properties for sale all over the country. Buy your little patch. Get my book, Homestead Hints, at Amazon. It's only $13. A lot of tips in there. Lamp Keeper's using my book right now, and she's moving on her homestead. And do it. Life's a struggle. You can stay in New York City, in a massively enormous city where all the food has to be trucked in every day, 5 or 6 times a day. It's got a few bridges that support all the incoming traffic and is a major target for terrorism. You want to disable the East Coast, nuke, or whatever, New York City. So life, do it. Oh, I saw crow kites on Instagram last night. Supposedly they deter hawks from getting your chickens. Wonder if they really work. It would be worth a try, Lamb Keeper, for sure. Because crows attack hawks. They don't like them getting near their nests. Somebody else I saw on Instagram has one of those blow up. They're advertisements, and it's like that pole, but it's a material, and they've got a fan, and it just blows around. It's like got its arms moving, and they use that to keep the hawks off their chickens. Try trap cropping. Plant a bunch of the pests likes that you don't need to harvest. Exactly. Turnip greens are perfect for broccoli. They attract the same kind of bugs. I had the beach balls that look like big eyes, and it kept the hawks and eagles away, said Farmer. Oh, that's interesting. They're crow-shaped flags on poles that move in the wind. Looks like they're flying. See, people are getting creative, and I love it. Have hawks out back, and the eagles are a bit east. I would try the kite then. I must be too far west for the cicada mouse. I haven't seen it yet. Me neither. What's the name again? The Angry Prepper. He's got a huge following. He's got excellent, videos. He is or was, I don't know, I think he still is a New York City firefighter and has been one for a long time. He's very skilled. He's a little bit of a, he's a real talker guy. Like he talks like a firefighter. If you know any, you know what I mean. But he is very into prepping. He is hooked into the prepping community in a major way. And there's all kind of preppers up in New York anyway. So the Angry Prepper. Copperheads love cicadas, so expect more of those too, said a Ledwin mare. Cotton and linen. That's it. That's what I would do. Good afternoon, SK. You look happy and well. Thank you, Warthog Survival. I'm hanging in there. Sackcloth, I wear much. So you're talking about burlap? But you can train hawks to hunt. Yes, you can. Hawks are awesome. They are, but it may be illegal in certain states to own one also, especially if you have a very large native population. So you want to look into that. Homestead is sold at Refuge Medical too. It sure is. How long do you think we have left before everything goes? I am not a conspiracy theorist, so I don't have any predictions at all. I will tell you that in the Bible, there's some very clear signs, if you're biblically minded. One of them is the two witnesses preaching in the street who are killed and resurrect after 3 days. That's a very clear sign. If you want to talk reality, people have been saying the end of the world is coming for thousands of years, and it hasn't happened yet. My personal opinion is that natural disasters are something to be more aware of than people who are saying the sky is falling, the economy is going to fail, this, that, and the other thing. Politically, I think the communists are doing the communist thing. They want the whole world to be communist. And the way they do what they do is they infiltrate a society first and make people unhappy with that society. So when they show up with an alternative, people say, all right, that sounds like a plan. And it never is good. Communism is a horrible system, and you should not fall for it. So there you go. He also makes great burgers. Angry Prepper makes delicious burgers. I have a video on that. I'm not kidding. I've eaten burgers around the world. I'm a pretty daggone good burger maker myself, but his were just really good. Norm Holland just dropped by. Good chat. Norm is a prepper, longtime prepper. He's got gardens. He's got stored food. He is a all-around square away guy. I know what you mean. I'm fully aware of the risk. I'm living in Lower Manhattan during 911. And Angry Prepper was a firefighter then and responded. So you guys have that in common. He has video of that too. I free range my chickens and have never lost one to hawks or eagles. I've lost 13 in the last 2 months to a dog that lives 2 miles away. Yep. Dogs are one of the biggest predators of domestic livestock. And a lot of times, if you have a dog and your animals start disappearing, your dog is the one taking them when you're not home. They get nervous, they get whatever. I met a young family that was homesteading and they were losing chickens and the wife didn't know what to do. And I thought, okay, well, you know, stop free ranging them, put them in your run and make sure your run is secure. You won't lose any. And don't you know, I drove by her house another day and her little dachshund dog was running around with a chicken in its mouth. So even if you think your dog's too small or it's not a bird dog variety, a lot of times it's your dog or your neighbor's dog. Labs are bird fetching dogs. And so if there's a lab in your neighborhood, and chances are if it sees your birds, it's going to want to fetch them. A lot of dogs have a natural instinct to eat birds. So like it's a real thing. That's why I have a run. If I have to, I'll keep them in there. Okay. Volunteers with Grindstone Ministries Disaster Relief, trying and doing. Yes, he does. I met him on the Kentucky Grindstone Ministry trip and had one of the burgers there, and he's just a real guy. I have my smocks made from sackcloth. What is sackcloth? Is it burlap? Is it some kind of cotton? I don't think it matters how long we have. I think the point is we should enjoy life as if it'll never happen and work hard like it's happening tomorrow. Exactly. It's a perfect way to look at it. 50 by 25 size backyard. I'm planning to grow some vegetables, etc. We'll do it. You should also check and find out. I mean, people in New York City have skunks in their apartments as pets. So you can probably legally keep a couple of chickens back there or quail. Quail are edible and they lay little eggs and they don't eat plants. They only eat bugs and they don't make as much noise as chickens. Thank you all helping Grindstone. Yes. Bear's Grindstone Ministry is a really good disaster relief effort. And he does try to help Americans. So, yeah. Off to get some homeschooling done. Have a great day. Google user agreed. Think Angry was still a paramedic during 9/11. Slow SK, sorry I'm late, was working in the gardens and Bama Buckeye. See, working in the garden. Excellent. And thanks for supporting the channel, Bama Buckeye. The one killing my chickens is a lab. So see, Jensen Family Homestead is a second witness to the information I'm putting out to y'all. Like, I'm not here to entertain, and I'm not here to get you to like me because I tell you, oh, you're wonderful. I think you're the best. I mean, you are, but that's not the thrust of my channel. The thrust of my channel is to educate people so that they have a easier time at stuff. And that's a second witness for dogs are a real problem on a homestead. Folks in Texas still don't have power because of the Directco. They are roasting now with the heat. If you have money for cable and satellite TV, you can get a generator and portable AC. Choices, folks. Now, have some sympathy, but it's true. And you can get a portable solar generator. Pastor just did a video about one of them on his Patreon channel. And you could run a fan for yourself. A fan's good enough. We have a wild flock of quail in this area. That's awesome. They're adorable, too. A cotton. It's sackcloth. Okay, well, cool. I found it to be a very down-to-earth guy. Yep. That's right. Very real. Rachel Hidehouse, I've lost my chickens to my own stupid dogs more than anything else. One of our Ridgebacks killed 20 birds her first year. And it was our fault that we kept letting them out and letting her be out because she was going to keep doing that. Now, some dogs don't kill birds until they're a year old, and some dogs, once they reach a year, stop killing birds. Like, it's weird. And you have to train your dog. That's the other thing. Like, you cannot have a dog and not train it, or the dog's going to revert back to its instincts, which are coyote and wolf-like. Yeah. Let's see. Most of those people are in Houston. If they were preppers, they wouldn't live anywhere near there, said Lone Star. Live in Texas. Speaking truth, I was actually thinking of Wes S. and what he would say about that. I don't know that he has air conditioning now. 95% of all animals I've lost have been to stray dogs or neighbor dogs. Lost a steer to a net wrap. Wow. And a cow to getting tangled up in vines. Woo! You have had some experience, Jensen. My Oops solar generator will be here Friday. I got it after PJ's review. Well, I hope it works for you. Now, I know it's a 600 watt, so I'm not sure how big a thing it's going to run for you, but the one that I have is doing exactly what I want it to do, which is fine. It's for my computer and my cell phone. And I have run a vacuum cleaner off of it, and that sucked the power pretty quickly. And I've also run a fan off of mine. So I hope you like it. It's not that I don't train dogs at all anymore, but I don't have the time to do it the level I did when I was 19. Got to jump off here. SK got a ton of chores to do. See you next time. Thank you, Warthog Survival. They banned my 50 channels for 7 days for spamming, and I have to be a decent human being or I will get timed out easily. Well, there you go. Mind your manners. Yeah, it's just a backup. I have others. You prepper, you. Hello from... Okay, so I've been on an hour, guys. I'm going to shut the chat down. I appreciate everyone for coming. Thank you, crew members, for being crew members of my channel. Thank you, moderators, for taking care of business. Thank you for channel supporters for supporting the channel. And yeah, I'm going to go eat my lunch now, and then I need to do a little bit of shopping. So bless y'all. Get gardening. It's worth it. Shalom. Yep, train your dogs. Don't just think they're going to be behaving. Yeah. Shalom, y'all. Bless you.